Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make a card using the new Sentimentally Yours Charming collection of dies. So we've got charmed rectangles 2, charmed ovals 2 and charmed circles 2. There are others, there's squares and there's borders, but I'm just using these ones today. I'm also going to use some of the Floral Finery Whimsy foliage, the flowers, Floral Finery Dotty Tips, and I'm just using these ones. I'm using one of the stencils. This is a slender stencil, Sophistication, and I do love this one. This is probably one of my favourites with the hearts in it. And the sentiments that I'm going to use are from the Sunflower Parade collection, and there's the script sentiments. I've got some Lavender Meadow card, some Ice White card, and this is just one of Sentimentally Yours card blank, the A5 top fold card blanks that I'm going to use. So it's going to be the A5 card. And then I've got some gems, which are the Porcelain Shimmer. I like those ones because they've got a nice lilac-y pink kind of shimmer to them. So I'm going to be using some of those. And then the two inks that I'm going to use with the stencil are the Distress Oxides Milled Lavender and the Shaded Lilac. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to do the stenciling first, and then we'll come back to the other bits. Okay, so the bits that I'm going to stencil are on the white bits. So let's put everything else to one side for now. So these two bits here. So I need the stencil. So get that out. And as I say, the two inks that I'm using are the Shaded Lilac and the Milled Lavender. And I was just going to use the Shaded Lilac to go with the Lavender Meadow card, but I'm going to add some of the Milled Lavender in just to give it a little bit more interest. So what I'm going to do, just take the lids off so we can see them. Do one at a time, put that one to one side. So this is like the slender one. There is a 6x6 square one that matches. I'm just going to use the slender one. And I just want it down one side. I don't want it over the whole white bit. So just down one side. And you can tape these down if you want to. But I tend not to. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to line it up roughly. Now I don't want this to be too precise because I don't mind if it's a little bit not perfect. That doesn't worry me so much. So I'm just going to go with the lighter colour first. So Milled Lavender. I've got a smoothie here. Milled Lavender on one side, Shaded Lilac on the other. And I'm just going to go in randomly, ever so lightly, just over the stencil in places. I like doing this, it's quite therapeutic. And then I'm going to go to the Milled Lavender and just go over and fill in the bits that we didn't do. Sorry, this is the Shaded Lilac. I'm going to go over the bits that we didn't do the Milled Lavender in. And then I'm just going to go back with the Milled Lavender and just go over ever so slightly, and it gives a lovely muted, gorgeous effect, I think. Okay, I'll just take that off, and that's your finished effect. I think that's fabulous, don't you? These stencils are really good. If you don't have them, I say there's quite a few, there's different selections. Go on the Honeypot Crafts website and have a look. They're really effective. So I'm just going to put that to one side to dry, and then I want the oval back in, and I'm going to do the same with the oval. So just line that up roughly. I'm going to cover the whole of the oval with the stencil this time, rather than just do the side. Doesn't matter if it's not completely symmetrical. Again, random. There's probably still enough ink left on here from doing the other piece, just to go over again. Back with some more milled lavender. And then that, lift that up, and there you have it. Get rid of that. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? It's quite effective. Okay, so I'm not going to waste this. This has got some, excuse me, this has got some gorgeous ink on it. So I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to get a piece of card. I'm just going to, off camera, I'm going to mist this with some water. And then I'm just going to throw it down on this piece of card. Let it sink in for a few minutes. Going to put a piece of kitchen roll over the top, just to mop up any excess water. And it gives you a kind, it gives you the negative, if you like, of that design. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. It's only a piece of card, but look at that. Isn't that fabulous? I love that. And then I could just use that on another design. And I think that's really effective. So rather than just waste your inks, that's a good way of getting another background, or you could cut it up and use it for flowers or a tag or anything. Okay. Right, I'm just going to get some wet wipes because now my fingers are covered in ink. And I don't want it to go on the rest of the project. So, cleaned off the stamp. So it's just with a wet wipe. Dry it off. And then you can put it back into its packaging. And then you don't lose it. Just make sure everything's clean. Don't want to get ink on the back of anything. Okay, so right, so this one here, this I cut out. I'll show you the size I used. I cut this out from the Charmed Rectangles 2, and the one I used is the largest one. So this one on the outside, this is the one I used. And it fits perfectly onto an A5 card. Okay, and then the white one that we did the stenciling on is going to go on top. And so that's the outside, and that's the white one. Okay, so perfect sizes, as I say, for an A5 card. And look. The design is amazing. Phil does such amazing dies, doesn't he? Don't you think? And this bit in the centre, I've used that quite a lot, just as a decoration. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is glue this onto here. Okay, so just get my PVA glue and onto the back. Oh, keep getting caught on that mat. Don't want loads of glue, and you don't want to go too close to the edge because you don't really want it oozing out the side. If I'm a bit croaky, I apologise. I've not been well over Christmas, been really poorly, and still a bit croaky, but we'll get there. Loads of people have had different ailments, haven't they, over Christmas? So just going to take this and line this up, and you've got a little bit of time to maneuver while it's still wet, and get it as lined up as you can, as straight as you can with the time that you've got before it sets. And there you go. How fabulous does that look? So decorative, aren't they, these dies? Lacy, kind of doily, really pretty. I do like those. So I'm just going to put that aside under something heavy to help it dry. And then with the oval, I'm going to stick that to this one. And again, like I say, from the Charmed Ovals, this collection again, Charmed Ovals 2. And I used this one here for the Lavender Meadow, and then there's a border one in there that I used for the white, and that's got some fabulous decorative ones too. Really special. If you can stretch to get in these, then do. They're so useful. So again, I'm just going to stick this one down with PVA glue. Don't use too much, but obviously you want it to stick quite well. Put my pin back in. Don't want it drying up. I tend to leave it lying on its side too, and that helps the flow. And then, sorry, this is my chair. My chair's a bit squeaky. Apologies. So just line this up. Get that stuck down. And again, pop that to one side under something heavy, just to stick properly. And then we can come back to that in a moment. So I'll just show you all the little bits that I've cut out. That's for my stamp. So as I say, this is the A5 card blank, the top fold that Honeypot Crafts have on their website. I cut out some flowers that I'm going to use and some leaves. So let's just separate those and get them all together so we know what we're doing. And I was going to do white flowers, but I was going to do white and stencil over those too, but I decided just to do the lavender instead. So for these here, these are part of the Charmed collection as well. And it's the Charmed circles, and it's that center one, that decorative bit there. So that's what I've cut that out of. So they're all, you can all mix and match them and interchange them. They all work so well together. So I've got 4 of those that are going to go in the corner of the card. But these flowers are, as I say, they're the Floral Finery Dotty Tips. And I've gone for this size and this size. So I'm going to put those two together, and then these two together. So I'm going to have one medium and two smaller. And then these little ones, I might use these little ones or I might not, but these are the little rounded ones, the smallest ones. And it's good because the smallest is 18 millimeters by 18 millimeters, and the largest is 63 millimeters by 55 millimeters. So it's quite a broad range, different dies. I love the smaller ones because I like making smaller cards generally, but the bigger ones are amazing too. So that's those. And the leaves that I've used are the Whimsy Foliage, and I've gone for the open ones, the ones with the holes. So some of those and some of those. Okay. So I'll show you how I do my flowers. Everyone does flowers differently, and there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you feel is best, whatever suits you better. Just put that to one side. And I like to curl the petals back with a bone folder. I will use a ball tool as well, but people use that to bend them back, and that's fine as well. But I do it this way. So I hold with my finger and my thumb, I hold the center of the flower, and then each petal I just curl backwards very gently. Now, depending on how delicate your flower is, sometimes you have to be more gentle than others, but these are quite a sturdy flower. So just hold it in the center, fold it backwards with your bone folder, like that. It's more fiddly the smaller the flower, obviously. So just take your time, don't rush it. There's no time constraints, you don't have to rush. Crafting's supposed to be fun and relaxing after all. So just take your time and do each one. These flowers are really nice. I love the dotty. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I love those dots on the bottom of those petals. Really effective. They look great on all card, but if you cut them out from the Sentimentally Yours luster card or paper, they look amazing. So just fold back. Okay, and then with my ball tool, I just go down into the center to make them pop up a bit, each one. So that's really simple. I'm not going to fold these. I'm just going to pop these in the center. And so I might not use these little ones, but I'll get them ready just in case, because I can use them on something else if I don't use them today. So what I do, this is still the PVA glue, but I've decanted it into this because this has got a really fine nozzle, and I just find it much easier when I'm doing little fiddly things. It's fine from this if you're using, if you've got a larger selection, a larger section to put glue on, but if you just want a little bit, this nozzle is quite fine. So it's for me, it's much easier. So just pop that in there. Right, and then just put these on top, off center a little bit, and then push down with your ball tool in the center. same, just off center a little bit. You've got time to manipulate them a little bit while the glue is still wet. So if you're not happy with them, you can lift them up, fluff them up, do whatever you want to. While that glue is still wet, you've got time to play around a little bit. And then the slightly bigger one, do the same, fluff it up. And that's it. And to me, that's the simplest way of doing flowers. And that's the way I do them the most. But it's up to you. So, gems. As I say, the porcelain shimmer gems, I do love these. Let me put some in here and then you can see. They've got like a pinky lilac-y shimmer. So I thought they'd go really well with this colour. I do like these. So I'm going to use, excuse me, I'm going all croaky again. I'm going to use the 5mm ones for these size flowers. I tend to use the 5 and the 3mm the most. Again, that's just me. If I do bigger flowers, then I'll use the 8mm, but I tend to do, in fact, what I've done, I've got 2 pots of the porcelain shimmer, and I've actually separated them. So these are all 8mm in this one, and then these are the 5 and the 3mm, and the 3 and the 5 are my go-to most of the time. So I'm just gonna pop that in the center, push it down a bit. Don't push it too much with your pickup tool because you don't want to damage it. So a little bit of glue in the center. And do these little ones as well. Oh, that's a bit off center, but hey ho. And then, actually, that could do with a bit more glue. A bit sparse there, Angela. Being a bit mean with the glue. Right, I'm just going to pop this back on so it doesn't go hard on me. And then just push that down gently. Oop. Put that to one side. Hold it. You can use your tweezers to put the gems on if you prefer. It's entirely up to you. And then, even though these are the teeny tiny ones, I think I still might use the bigger gem, the 5 rather than the 3. Just because I can. And last one. Now, as I say, while they're still wet, you can manipulate them a bit more. But I'm quite happy with them as they are. I'm just going to push them to one side to let them dry a little bit, and then we'll come back to them when we're ready. Right, so card blank, and then we're going to get our stenciled background, and I'm going to put this on with foam tape. I use 1mm or 2mm. I tend to stick with 1mm a lot, only because it still gives you some dimension, but it's just easier to pop in the post or in an envelope. if you're trying to do envelope, you're not doing boxes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 1 mil for this. So just on the back. Just for dimension. And then a bit on either ends. Just because it's quite a large section, you just want to make sure that you're not going to have any saggy middles or anything. So just keep everything stable with the foam tape. And just take that backing off. Peels off nice and easily. My 2 mil tape that I've got they're in the little individual ones, and I suppose the reason I don't use them quite as much too is you've got to take each one off individually, and it just takes forever, and life's too short for that. So because I've got this 1 mil that's in one strip, it's just easier. So I'm just going to try and line this one up, so bear with me. I want it to go as equal as possible. And I never push down until I'm completely happy with it. There we go. I think that looks quite pretty already, doesn't it? Okay, and so then the next bit is our oval. I might do the 2 mil on this because it's smaller, so it won't take quite as long. So with these, as I say, they're a bit faffy because you've got to take each one off individually, and you end up having to cut them as well to fit funny shapes. Whereas with the strips, you can usually bend, can't you? Manipulate a little bit. So it's okay. We want as much stability as possible. So I'd rather put too much foam tape on than not enough. And I do want a tiny little bit in the middle. Right. Down there, like so. And then take it off. Without getting stuck to it. Which way up do I want it? That way? That way? This way, I think. Yeah. So again, just bear with me while I turn it towards me so I can see what I'm doing. I want it as central as possible. And again, I've just placed it on top of there. It hasn't completely stuck yet until I'm happy with it. And then I push it on. And that does give it a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that very well. The 1 mil and then the 2 mil. A little bit more of a lift. It's looking quite nice. Yeah, so these I was going to put, the plan is, or was, to put them in each corner. I don't know with the stenciling, whether that's too much. Definitely look nice on the plain white. Yeah, I think I'm still going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to use again is my fine nozzle glue. Now again, if you've got spray adhesive, you can use that. You can, what a lot of people do it on the back of their hand. I tend to just do this, little dabs of glue. It is time consuming, but I get the result I want. And I'm just going to push that down. I'm going to hold that while I go ahead and do the next one. Tiny little, you don't have to, when you're doing this, it kind of comes out of the nozzle by itself, so you don't have to squeeze it. If you squeeze it, you sometimes get too much glue, and these are tiny, tiny, tiny little minute bits of glue that's coming out, which is exactly what I want. So stick that there, just hold that for a second and keep going. Like I say, it is a little bit faffy and a little bit time consuming, but I think it's worth it. Otherwise, I've done it, I've put glue on the mat and tried to stick them that way by putting them in the glue, and but I don't know why, but I just get in a right mess when I do that. We're all different, aren't we? It'd be a bit boring if we were all the same. So you just do whatever suits you best. And as long as the finished result is what you want, that's all that matters. So, a bit more. And that's that one. Turn it around so I can see. I think they look quite effective, don't they? So if they're not completely stuck down, just put your fingers over them again. The glue will be tacky if you've got time. So looking good so far. I'm pleased with that. Put my nozzle back on my glue so we don't clog up. And then I've got flowers to stick on, but I think I need to do the sentiment first. And just pop that to one side. So, as I say, the sentiments that I've chosen are from the Sunflower Parade, and it's the script sentiments. And I've chosen the Cherish Moments one. I've actually taken it out of there already. I love this script. This is lovely. You've got happy birthday on your special day, just a note with love, birthday wishes, have a wonderful day, sending sunshine, someone special with love, best wishes. But Cherish Moments is the one we're going to use. And I'm just going to, I've got a bit of scrap card that I'm going to stamp it onto, and I'm going to use the shaded lilac and just light tapping. You can do this on the stamping platform if you want to, but for small little things like this I tend not to. I tend to use a block. So Cherish Moments, I push it down, and then you just want the ink to grab, so just give it a minute. Now if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, it's a piece of card, you can stamp it again. And that's quite good, I like that. You are going to get a distress look, don't forget, because these are distress oxides. So it's not going to be a clean, crisp impression because these are distress oxides. So you're going to get that distress look. Okay, just clean that, pop that away. Put it back, otherwise I'll lose it. I do want to do that. And then I'm going to cut that out. I could cut that by hand, but I want it to be nice and crisp. So I'm using my little guillotine. And I'll turn that round. And then that side as well. And then I'm going to back this onto some scrap lilac card that I have. So just glue that on. I was, you can see, stamping other sentiments on the back of the card, so don't waste anything. Just because you weren't happy with that sentiment doesn't mean you can't stamp on the other side. Waste not, want not. I do that a lot. Stamp on the other side. I've probably got a bit too much glue on there now, which is a bit silly. That's fine. I'm just going to dab a bit off. So, and then I just want a little border around the edge. My hands are a bit sticky with the glue, so I'm just going to put a bit of kitchen roll over the top just to smooth it over so that I don't get sticky fingers and marks on it. And then cut this to size. A bit more, I think. Teeny weeny weeny weeny. Bit more. And then I want this as straight as possible. That could do for another one. There we go. Cherish moments. That looks good. So I was thinking with this card that I'd put this here. What do you think? Rather than down here or up there. I was going to put it there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to use my glue gel, hopefully. And I want it raised a little bit here, but I want most of the glue at this end. So a blob at that end and then a little bit there. Just line that up. Just bear with me while I just lift it to see what I'm doing. Move that ever so slightly. Yep. So with your glue gel, I know a lot of people struggle with these syringes, but if you use it like a syringe, then you can draw the glue gel back in and it's not gonna go all dry. So what I do when I'm popping it away is I get it all out. I get all the gel out of this top bit here, So it's all in here, and then once you put the top on, there's no air getting in here, so it's not gonna clog it up and make it go hard. It does take a bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's much easier than using pokey tools or sticks or anything else, but everyone's different. So now I'm going to put our flowers on. So I'm going to go with the biggest one first. So it's not a massive one. I'm going to pop that there, just slightly over the sentiment. And then we want this one up here. And then this one down here. And then just draw that back in. Now, I don't know whether to use the great big ones or the little ones. I think I might just go with the little ones. You've got a left and a right facing. And when I'm doing them, I tend to follow the shape. So this one, I would go that way, but I have been known on occasions to do it the other way. Oh, can't pick it up. And go that way. But today I'm going to go that way. Just take a little bit off the bottom to make it the size I want. A little bit of glue gel. And I'm just going to tuck it underneath. And that's the beauty of the glue gel, isn't it? If you use it, you know that you can manipulate for a few minutes. You've got time, haven't you, before it sets, whereas the PVA glue, it's kind of instant-ish, more so than the glue gel. So you have to be quite confident in your placement. And I faff about too much. I'm not that confident sometimes. I like to maneuver them all the time. Put that one there. And just lift that up, see how that's looking. Yep, like that. And then I think I might stick another couple in just for effect. I'm gonna have one coming out of here. And another one coming out a little bit lower, I think. Out from there. I'm just going to lift this flower up because I'm not happy with how it's sitting. Let's pop that down. I'm just going to put a bit more glue gel on it to lift it up a bit more. That's better. Yes, that's sitting better now, I think. And just faff about with them. Now, do I need these little ones? Don't know. Do I? Do I? Should I? No, I don't think I'm going to use those little ones. I'll use them for something else. I quite like that as it is. So let me just draw this in as you would if it was an injection. And then, so I've got no glue now in this bit here. It's all in this, it stops right at this section. Pop that on and then that should be fine when I come back to it tomorrow. Or whenever. Fingers crossed. And that's the card. That's the finished card. and stands up tenfold. So, hope you liked that. I like the stenciling effect. I think that's quite nice. And I'll just show you the dried negative now. That looks quite good, doesn't it? You can see the difference. So it's a much paler print, if you like, negative of that one, but just as effective. And I can use that on something else. So yeah, so hope you liked that. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see any more videos, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The more subscribers I have, then the more videos you can see. And as I say, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.